Hello everyone and welcome back to Soul Standing. My name is Beth and today I'm going to do a quick review for you on The Land Without Color and The Great Sugar War, the first two books in the Land Without Color series by Benjamin Ellefson. As I mentioned, these are written by Benjamin Ellefson. They are also illustrated by Kevin Cannon. The first book is called The Land Without Color, and the second book is called The Great Sugar War. They are the first two in a trilogy, and I am super excited and looking forward to the third book, which is going to be called The Collapsing Kingdom. And I'm really hoping, if the front cover is any indication, that the third book is going to be Brandon's story. The first book, we meet Brandon at the very beginning, but then his grandpa starts telling us about his past. And so the actual protagonist of the story is actually Grandpa Alvin. And Grandpa Alvin finds himself lost in a land called the Kingdom of Color, but that doesn't have any color, really. There are rare splashes of color, but not really any around anymore. It's been leached out. And so, with the help of Permy the squirrel and his vegetables, Alvin sets off to reach the Kingdom of Color's royal palace and then to figure out what's going on with the color. In the second book, Brandon discovers something that tells the story of his great great grandfather, I believe, or his great 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 grandfather. Anyway, Otto. And so we see Brandon again for the first chapter or two, and then at the very end. But most of the story, the protagonist is Otto, who has found himself in the Kingdom of Color before Alvin. This is Alvin's grandpa, I think, or dad, something like that. Anyway, so this book is first, but in this book we get a background story. It's a little confusing, but Otto finds himself in the middle of a war between the Kingdom of Color and the Kingdom of Shapes, and he swiftly finds himself kind of part of the forefront of figuring out what is going on, why this war is even still going on, and what to do to stop it. I gave both of these books a solid 3.5 stars, like 3.49. Actually, it wasn't quite enough to give it a 4 stars on Goodreads. I did give them both a 3 on Goodreads, but I have my reasons, so let's get into those. I love the morals in these stories, which I'm not going to tell you because they're kind of a central plot point. However, they are very hard hit. It is repetitive, redundant, overdone. And as much as I love the story and the characters and the land and everything that Benjamin put into this, it feels like he doesn't trust the reader to get the point without bashing them over the head with it. That being said, it's well written. I mean, he didn't just randomly throw things in. It's well written. It's put in there, but I don't believe it had to be put in there as much or as forcefully as it was. And that kind of took away from my enjoyment. However, like I said, I did really enjoy it. I also love the way the book is set up, by the way, and his writing style really lends itself to these fabulous illustrations by Kevin Cannon. I love the way he incorporated a lot of things like don't believe everything that you're told. Um, Sometimes people just don't want to see what's going on around them. Things like that he included in really creative ways, and I adore that. Another thing that bothered me is that there were a couple of times when point of view was randomly switched, especially in the Great Sugar War. Otto would be it would be in Otto's voice. Otto would be talking, or we would be seeing things through Otto's point of view, and then all of a sudden, for a couple of paragraphs, it would be someone else. And there wasn't any warning. We didn't switch chapters or anything. It just kind of swapped over, and it was a little confusing. That's a small thing, really, but it still took away a little bit of my enjoyment. And there are some I'm sorry, there's something in my eye. There are some odd word choices here and there. Again, Nothing that was big enough to just make me go, oh my God, I can't stand it. But it did take away from my enjoyment a little bit. I did not take anything off for that though, because as an author and a certified English teacher for K through 8th grades, I shouldn't take away if a word niggles at me. Like if it's a whole bunch of stuff, then yeah. But if it's just a word that's used in a way I wouldn't use it in, I'm not going to take away for that. It just did niggle at me a little bit here and there. Like at one point, he used the word mature. The trees were mature here, which is appropriate, but technically for me would need to be more mature. Uh, Again, I did not take anything off for that, and that's the only instance I can instantly recall because that one really bothered me. But other than that, everything was great, and I've said it before, it's really well written. So even though I did feel like it was a little heavy-handed at times with getting the point across, I did really enjoy both of these books, and I am really looking forward to the third. This is a funny, creative, and just really well-rounded and well-written series. I cannot wait for the third in this trilogy, and I highly suggest that you check these out, especially if you like just tongue-in-cheek good times. Benjamin Ellefson is hilarious, and it really shines through in these. So that's all I have for you guys today. Until next time, I hope that you read something good and write something better. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.